Hi, everyone. Welcome to Broadcast Tuesday. My name is Jeff Jabora, and I'm the Director of Growth and Development here at Allison James Estates and Homes. And this morning, we are going to be talking about EDDM routes. So, what is an EDDM route? Every Door Direct Mail. This is a program by the United States Postal Service that is affordable, targeted advertising technique that lets you map out your marketing mail audience by age, income, household size, or just general location. You can use the EDDM mapping tool to choose the zip code you want and a carrier route that will target your best possible customers for the current and the future. Now, in the description here on the post, we have included the link to that mapping tool. So to dive a little bit further into the route itself, essentially what you are doing is having the post office deliver a piece of mail to every single address on a certain carrier route. And if you go the demographic route of targeting people by age or number of children or whatever the case may be, you can pick an entire area and cover multiple zip codes that will send your piece of direct mail to everyone that meets that description. Now, the United States Postal Service somehow procured all this information, and they have really, really good demographics available for you to use. So if you were to go to the link on the mapping tool, you can search by a certain address, and it'll map out different routes for you. And then if you look in the top left-hand corner, it'll show you, for example, if you're looking in the 92009 zip code, and you hover over a certain address or a certain region, or if you type an address into that search box, there'll be many different areas around it that show a different color of highlighting. What this is based off of is actually the route that mail carrier is going to walk for that certain address. So in the same neighborhood, there may be two different routes in there. So make sure you're covering the appropriate one. From there, it'll assign you a code. Normally, it starts with the zip code. So, for example, 92009-C050. That is going to be a universal code across the board. So if you do use a printing company that is going to help you with the EDDM and also deliver it for you or drop it off, you can just give them that code and say, I want this particular code. Or if you go to the post office yourself and you're filling out the forms of where you want mailed, you would fill that out with that code. It is very, very important to use the correct code. Now, some ways that you can incorporate the every door direct mail into your business is you can find routes of certain properties that you're looking to send farms out to. You can set up a referring farm to go out. You can use this to send out just listed and just sold for properties that you have. It is going to be on the same route in the general area. There are some pros and cons to the EDDM here. Some of the pros are it's very cost effective. If you look at this as a numbers game, there's probably not a more efficient route to send out mass mailings like that than the EDDM route. As far as catering to the masses, I really think this is the best tool. And that's really what it's designed for. If you're looking for a very, very concentrated farm, if you're targeting very, very tight neighborhoods and that sort of thing, you're better off probably using a standard farm, but for the purpose it stands for, it does a great job. Now, some of the cons of this, there are pretty stringent size dimensions for the EDDM route. It has to be less than 3.3 ounces in weight. Certain size, excuse me one second here. It must be rectangular in shape and have 4 square corners. Has to be more than 11 inches long or more than 6 1/8 inches high, the actual mailer itself. It cannot be more than 15 inches long, cannot be more than 12 inches high, or 3/4 inches thick. So really what you're looking for to make yourself stand out is you want to use a 12 by 15, and I'll tell you why. Some of the cons of this are oftentimes when you send out this type of mail, it's going to be looked at as junk mail. The same kind of stuff that you get the grocery store advertisements on or local businesses and that sort of thing. A lot of these companies use that because it's so cost effective. So you need to have a very, very catchy advertisement, something that's going to pop and keep people interested in, oh, let me take a look at this. What is this? You're going to want to use something colorful, something bold, something that really sticks out. Otherwise, it's just going to be regarded as junk mail. You're looking at about 17 cents per mailer if you use the EDDM route. It could be 3 times as expensive as that, plus printing if you were to go the standard mailer route versus the EDDM. Another thing I really like and I really want to hone in on is targeting certain demographics by age, income, children, homeowners, that sort of thing. You can really dial in on a concentrated farm with this, whereas just a standard geo farm that you've received from your title rep, you might not have access to that kind of information. If you're targeting certain people that are likely to move and that sort of thing, this is a pretty efficient route for that. Now, once again, to incorporate this into your business, keep in mind that this is for the masses. This is not the only type of mailing that you want to use. There's no replacement for a dialed in campaign. If you're targeting very specific properties and that sort of thing, this may not be the best route. As far as setting this up, there are some things to take into account as well. You can't just go down to the post office with 10,000 mailers and drop them off in the mailbox. You're going to want to look and see what the restrictions are, but they want them bundled in a stack of, I believe, no more than 500 at a time, and there are restrictions on how you can mail them out. You can't just say, I'd like to mail out 10 of these today. If you pick a certain route, you have to mail the entire route. It is a minimum of 200 at a time and a maximum of 5,000 per day. So what you're going to want to do to set all of this stuff up is go ahead and go to the link that we have here for you, and you'll need to register to make an account with the United States Postal Service. You can even link it as a business account if you'd like to. You go in there and set everything up, and you can actually use this to keep track of what you have sent out for EDDM as well. So it's a really great tool. As far as sending this out every day, I don't think that that is necessary, but like anything else, 1 is the worst number. You want to do it consistently. Don't send out the exact same thing every time. Mix it up. If you're targeting an entire zip code or a portion of an entire zip code, have 3 or 4 or 5 different mailers that you cycle through and send out. And I think that you're going to get better results that way. I recently started using EDDM in the last year or so, and a lot of times you feel like, oh, I'm not getting any results, or it's just going into trash and that sort of thing. But at the cost effectiveness of this, you are catering to the masses. And if you have to mail it 6 or 7 times before you start getting calls, no problem. You're going to get your money back with the listings out there. So as a takeaway here, remember size restrictions, minimum mailers, maximum mailers. There are companies out there that you can pay to do this for you, and it's still going to be less expensive, but you can even go down to Staples and set up an EDDM account, and you're looking at printing and postage total less than about $0.25 per mailer. That's a pretty good rate. So any questions you have, please feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook here. I am on the Allison James page, of course. And any questions that you have more specific to the EDDM parameters and that sort of thing, take a look around the United States Postal Service website. That is all I have for you today, guys. Have a wonderful day. Happy Tuesday. And I look forward to seeing your success with EDDMs.